Staying with Nigeria's judiciary, the Court of Appeal sitting in the country's capital, Abuja, has reserved the judgment in the appeal by the Kano State Governor, Abba Yusuf, challenging his removal by the governorship election petition tribunal. The tribunal on September 20 nullified the election of Yusuf by declaring 165,663 of his votes invalid. Recall that a three-man panel of the tribunal, led by Justice Oluyemi Akinto Osadebe, had on the 20th of September sacked Yusuf after deducting that amount or those amounts of his votes. The tribunal held that the ballot papers were not signed or stamped by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Well, the party of the Kano State Governor is the NNPP. Glad to see we have a chieftain of that party, the NNPP, or New Nigeria People's Party, Ladipo Johnson, joining me tonight to look further at that development. Ladipo Johnson, thank you very much for your time. It's a pleasure to have you.
Good evening.
What's your assessment, Mr. Johnson, of the appeal or the decision by the appeal court to reserve judgment against the governor of Kano State? You're a lawyer, so this is your terrain.
Yes, thank you. It's the normal procedure. When you file an appeal, you file your notice of appeal, and you have the appellant's brief, which was served, and the respondent's brief was served. The respondent also filed a cross appeal. INEC as well filed an appeal and also responded, like we did, to the cross appeal by the APC. And so with everything before the courts, the Court of Appeal gave a date, which was today, and the appeal was heard, argued, and the written briefs were adopted by counsel for all the parties. Now, it's a normal thing that the court the panel will retire, and they say that judgment is reserved. So when they know that they have come up with a judgment, they will now send notices. The registrar will send notices to all the parties through their counsel, and we will all appear to hear the judgment of the appeal panel.
Interesting. Mr. Johnson, what steps do you believe should be taken to ensure that future elections in Nigeria maintain the integrity of the voting process?
Well, there are many things that we have seen in the 2023 elections, many things that have come up, some of which are this issue of electronic voting, talking vis-a-vis the Supreme Court judgment in the Presidential Tribunal appeal. We have to be certain about what our law says. Do these things have to be transmitted electronically? How do we vote? Regarding that of Kano, for instance, who is to blame if ballots are not stamped and signed? As Chief Falano said a few days ago, do you blame the man who has just come to vote and then do not count his vote, or do you blame INEC, the umpire, who had to present ballots that were the same all around, all across the board? These are just some of the issues that we have to look at. The other thing, of course, is that a lot of people are talking about, and that has arisen, is that we must have a timetable that ensures that all legal issues are resolved before anyone is sworn. And it is possible. The National Assembly must look at that and seek the opinion of the judiciary before they amend the law, the Electoral Act, to ensure that it is in line with that idea. Because really, we have a country where, unfortunately, people, civil servants, public servants, believe that, or sorry, do not believe that their oath of office, their allegiance is to the Constitution or to the people of Nigeria. They tend to believe that the allegiance is to that particular governor or to the local government chairman or to the president. And so if someone who hasn't, whose election is being challenged, resumes office, then it becomes even more difficult, unless we're fooling ourselves in Nigeria. It becomes even more difficult to get fair treatment, judgment, etc. So that is also one of the most important things that must be looked at going forward.
All right. Ladipo Johnson, the presidential candidate of Labour Party, I'm sure you may have already listened to his press conference speech today. Peter B. Held today, officially declared Labour Party the opposition party in Nigeria. What do you make of that statement?
Well, it's politics. He's he's within his rights to say that the Labour Party is the opposition party. We will say we are the opposition party. The PDP can also say they're the opposition party. Whichever way it is, the important thing is to have a virile, constructive opposition that will ensure that the party in government, either at the federal level or state level or local government level, is kept on their toes, that you act as the man who beams the light on government constructively, and that the people begin to see that. And so that way, hopefully, democracy, the interest of democracy will be served as you comment on things that government is doing. When they do well, there are times you have to support government, you do that. But oftentimes, or most times, you should constructively criticize government and say that, no, you are not doing this the way you promised the people you do it, or we don't think that the economy is going in the right direction, etc., etc., or that your educational policies are not going in the right direction. So, yes, I think he is within his rights to suggest that, but we will see the most constructive opposition party as time goes on.
All right. Ladipo Johnson Esquire, it's been a pleasure having you, and thanks so very kindly for your time.
Thank you.